Whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, it does not matter what you drive. This is your All-Terrain Nation. I'm your host, David Boyd, and today it's First Edition Day. Not just any First Edition, it's the Bronco. That's right, the First Edition Bronco is in my possession, and I'm pretty pumped about this. Now, we've been taking this thing all over the place. I mean all over Michigan. We're all over Detroit, just having a lot of fun. We did the Dream Cruise. We got to see Ford's displays down there. We've gotten a lot of people love this thing, and they don't really see many of these, and we've gotten all kinds of crazy honks and people just waving. And we were going down the highway at 75 miles an hour yesterday with the doors off, by the way, which is a blast. I kid you not. If you get one of these things, take the doors off, go down the highway. It's so much fun. But people were honking and giving us you can tell the pride of Detroit. This thing is definitely the pride of Detroit right now because people love it. And no matter where we go, they seem to just attention. We had people in our parking lot last night just walking around this thing, checking this thing out. They just loved it. Somebody in the elevator was like, "Hey man, is that your Bronco out front there?" I was like, "Okay, yeah, I can claim it for today, right?" But we're gonna have a lot of fun in this thing, so let's go around, we'll drive around, and we'll talk about this thing, and we'll go from there. All right, so we've got the classic Bronco here, and man, this thing is beefy from the big plated bumpers. And I mean, I'm surprised. When I initially thought Ford was gonna do this, I thought it's gonna be kind of play. They're not gonna be real bumpers, but these things are very beefy, and I don't know that they really need changed out. Now this one's got the second gen of the bull bar here where you can actually read the Bronco, which is actually pretty cool. Now we've got the big front end on this thing, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, they're just too big." I will say this, from driving 600 miles in our Jeep all the way up here, yes, the hood does look a little larger, but when you're driving these things, it doesn't feel any larger at all. Now you get the big tow hooks. This one's got all the safety sensors around it. The trail guides, which I actually like just for normal driving, they just seem to do well. So let's go around the side here. Now, being a Sasquatch package, you've got these big 315/70/17 tires, and when I mean big, these guys are very big. Now, with being a First Edition, you're getting the matching beauty rings around this for the capability of beadlock wheels. I like these a lot. I mean, I really like these wheels a lot. The glossiness of them. The tires, I have to say, they're not very loud on the road, which I'm very surprised. Now Kelly, come here. We'll look at the tread pattern on these things, and you can see they definitely gather rocks. You can see where they will definitely, if you're going down a rocky road, they're going to gather rocks a little bit, and that's what these things are made to do. But overall, the Goodyears, I'm very surprised out on the highway, really quiet. Now, you guys know I'm not going to leave, when ours comes in, I'm not leaving it stock for very long, but I will do a little bit of a long-term review on these tires and see how they wear. You get the nice rock sliders on this. I have to say, they kind of feel a little bit better than the Jeep Rubicons. That sounds crazy, and you guys know here on the channel, yes, I'm a Ford Bronco guy. I love these things, but I love my Jeep just as well. And I have to say, I think they actually are pretty capable. Now, the thing maybe Ford could have done was added some little bit of a step for people. I know that's been somewhat of a complaint for everybody, but they're rock sliders, and this is made to go off-roading. So,
all right. So I know there's some moms and dads probably out there that are interested in what the back seat looks like. How do we break it down? How do we fold it flat? How are our kids going to be comfortable in here? We actually found today, pop those headrests down, pop the switch, and you lay pretty close to flat. So you got a lot of opportunity here. What I do like too is that this is here to cover up all those extra crevices that you're going to get everything in. So that's nice that that's there. But then the other thing I like is when you actually put it back up, it actually has two settings. So you just pull it one more time. Actually, it looks like it has three settings. And you go all the way back. So I don't know many vehicles that actually have an adjustable seat back here for your passengers. So pretty cool. And you've got your pockets in the front, or in the driver and passenger seats on the leather seats. And to know, you know that leather's going to upkeep from your kids and everything else, so that's pretty nice. You've got your power pack. How many kids have all of their stuff? You've got your two different USBs there, so you can go ahead and hook in. And you've actually got a plug-in too. So I know for me, when we're road tripping, I always have something that needs to be plugged in that I don't have a USB for. So it's nice to have that in your window connections too.
All right, now a lot of people have been asking, yeah, how adult can get in this thing, but what about a small child? And well, my child's not super small. She's 11 years old and just the right age for a Bronco. But let's see if she can get in this thing and how she would get in this thing. Grabs the handle, pops right in. Sid, any problems with that? What, do you like it? There you go. So getting in the Bronco seems pretty easy.
All right, pretty easy open there, right? You got your shock here, and in the back, I actually was really worried about the cargo space in this, but huge amount of cargo space with those seats up. I can't even talk about it enough. You've got your tie downs, which is awesome, because I know from a mom perspective, having those tie downs is huge, because sometimes you just don't want things flying around the back of the truck. And you've got all of this area, and I anticipate there'll be some shelves created and things like that already on the aftermarket for you to be able to have your 2-level experience. Overall, big thumbs up for the Bronco on this one. From a mom and an off-roader, everyday driver, everything. And listen how nice that closes.
All right, one thing I've noticed that the Ford has that Jeep doesn't is the foot peg. And you wouldn't think that little foot peg right there would matter, but when you're in long travel with the Jeep, it's so annoying that you got this flat. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just annoying. And that this thing still has that, good work, Ford.
But I do appreciate the keys are soft touch, if that makes sense. Like, they're not true buttons. So I'm curious how that will hold up over time. Just because anything that isn't a true, you know, you can feel that there's actually keys under or buttons under. So I'd be curious how that keeps up over time with the indentation continuing. Maybe that's a girl thing, but just something to think about. So I will say the only time previously until today that I've gotten to ride any length of time has actually been in the back seat itself. So it's nice to be able to drive in the front and actually drive the vehicle itself to see what the kind of the difference is. There's definitely space. There's definitely space for your kids in the back seat too. There's space in the back too. I know when we rode with our daughter at Celebration East, she really liked the back seat itself. I even liked it as a passenger in the back seat. I think for long trips, this would be a lot more comfortable than the Jeep itself, just from our initial rides in it.
So I have to say, this thing is pretty freaking amazing. Now, we just did about 650 miles in the Jeep Gladiator, and that thing will wander around the road. I mean, it's a Jeep. I like them. Obviously, I bought one, but this thing feels planted with these 35s and everything. It just feels super planted. Now, one of the big things that this first edition has, it's really, really nice, is this big screen. Just that screen is freaking huge, and I love it. Kelly, I know we looking at the 8-inch on ours, but I think that thing is great. All the layout of this, now we've treated this like it's basically our vehicle, and once again, thank you to Jeff for allowing us to use this thing, but everything about this interior is great. Now let's look at the front hood of this thing. Now everybody's like, oh, these things feel huge, they're this and that. It does feel a little bigger driving it than the Jeep does, but a Jeep has a narrow front end. Now, when we're looking at buying a Bronco, it's all about open air experience, right? So when you look at the roof of this thing and you hear me talking, look all this open air that you're getting. This is why you buy this. Now the Jeep has that post that goes through here. This thing does not have any of that, and it's pretty freaking great. Now, whether it be the top issues or whatever, who cares about that stuff right now, because we're looking at this thing as this is summer. It's about 90 degrees here in Detroit, and I'm having a blast with this thing. Now, also, you don't see anybody with the doors off of this either. This is where you want this style of vehicle. You want the doors off, and something I've noticed right away is the tires aren't real loud in it. I'm a Goodrich guy. I'm not a real big Goodyear guy, and pretty freaking quiet on this thing. And let's take a listen to this, because this is Look at this. This is what the Sasquatch life is like right here, guys. Now you can hear some rocks grabbing in on them tires. That's just their meaty off-road tires, but this is the view that you want when you're driving your Bronco. Just this right here. All right, so when you get into one of these things, man, I love it because this is what Ford is selling you on, the open air experience. And look at this. Like, there is nothing in your way here. And I love this. I mean, you got the cool Bronco up there too, but everything about this, if you're a backseat passenger, how often does a backseat passenger look at the bar up there and it's in your way? But look at this. This is freaking awesome. Is the Bronco a yes for us?
Yes!
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 So there you go. We drove it. We enjoyed it. Honestly, I enjoyed that thing way more than I thought I would. I knew after going to Celebration East that I loved the thing, but they didn't allow us to drive them there. After driving it, and not just getting to drive it for 10, 15 minutes, or like the dealers are allowing, you get like 2 hours in one and then you have to bring it back. Dr. Detroit gave it up. He dropped me the keys. He said, dude, it's yours all weekend. I was like, no, no, no. He's like, no. He goes, take it. I had a wedding to go to up in Detroit. He said, drive it. And the wedding was 40 miles away. I put over 200 miles on that thing, and I loved every minute of it. I think on-road it drives great. The little gravel roads that we got to do, the Haas system soaks those bumps up, and I was very impressed with that. And we gave it a little bit of hell. I think the battle lines are really going to be drawn between this and the Jeep. I think Jeep right now probably still wins off-road just for complete. If you want a monster, if you want to build something on 40s that's just a freaking monster, I think this is the platform you go with. I think if you want to put something on 35s, maybe 37s, and you want the best of both worlds, I think Bronco's where you go at. I think tech right now in both of them, after doing 1,200 miles in this thing, using the tech, using the radio, just, you know, plugging my iPhone, and going to the Bronco, I think Bronco has just slightly better tech, and I mean slightly. Obviously, that big 12-inch screen is just like, if you don't like that, that's crazy. I mean, you're crazy. Like, I don't need it in my life, but having it was freaking amazing. I think Bronco with that Haas system, once again, I think it soaked up all the bumps really well. I was very impressed with it. Once again, braking, I was amazed. I gave it some hard stops, even with those big 35-inch tires. It does great. I think if you're going into this thing thinking I need to instantly upgrade it, I'm going to have to put 37s on it, I think you're kidding yourself, honestly. And I'm a guy that I like to modify my vehicles. I told a buddy after the drive, I was like, look, man, I think I could leave it alone. Maybe change tires. I'm not a Goodyear guy, you guys know. But maybe change the tires after a bit. But I don't see anything wrong with it the way it is right now. Obviously, there's little customization things we'll all want to do. But fuel economy, I was getting 18s in this thing on the highway. Now, I know these honestly, I averaged 20 on the dot with this thing for 1,200 miles. Ford's going to have to take a look at that a little bit and get a little more miles per gallon out of it. But overall, super, super happy with what we got to see in this thing over the weekend. And let me know in the comments, where do you stand? Are you still hardcore Jeep guy? Or are you a guy that owns a Jeep and is like, I'm curious about them? I would tell anybody, if you can go to your dealer and they have one that you can demo, go drive it. I'm not brand loyal by any means. So I'm going to be honest with you. If I thought it was dog crap, I would tell you it's dog crap. If I thought these were dog crap, I'd tell you it's dog crap. But I love the things. I love all cars and trucks. So there you go. Let me know in the comments below what you think. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe to the channel. It just means a lot to us, and we do greatly appreciate that. So whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, you know, it doesn't matter what you drive. This is your all-terrain nation, and I'm your host, David Boyd. Oh, man, these ponies, these Broncos. Peace, everybody. Love y'all.